I know, it's the first of the year, and like you'd think we'd have champagne or something like that, but I think we screw that champagne stuff. I'm going for the hard stuff.
I want the good stuff.
I want the good stuff, man. Welcome back. Welcome to 2026, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, it's this is now officially, we are in 5 different years.
Yeah.
Our podcast is now broadcast in 5 different years. Calendar years. So, and we are at episode 169.
Yay.
That means we're like 31 episodes away from episode 200. What should we do for 200?
We got to do something fun.
I don't know. We haven't even discussed. I mean, we barely have the next month discussed. But tonight, I think we've kind of done this before, but I think there was
a little different. I think it's a little different. And I think it's a little different because I was looking for my notes and I'm like, how do I not have notes on Bloody Marys? I could have sworn we've done this before.
We have done this drink before. I'm going to say that. But every time we do the drink, we do something probably a little different. There's very few repeats on the drink meal combinations.
There's that. Yes.
Yeah.
Very true.
But hey, Robert, thanks for joining in tonight, man. Very few times we repeat, but like there's a reason we picked it tonight. I think what wasn't
National Bloody Mary Day.
That's it. It was National Bloody Mary Day, which also, though, it's kind of like that was our first episode of the year. And it's kind of like doing it like kind of a kickback to what we started, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We've done Bloody Mary a lot on this show. And I want to say it's almost our show's most popular drink.
Yeah.
Because we've done it more than anything. And it's funny because it wasn't, well, I want to say vodka and Bloody Mary were not even in the discussions of topic when we came up with an idea for a show. So it was literally, we were both on 2 different angles of whiskey and gin. And yet our first show was vodka. And we've come back to vodka many times. Come back to vodka-based drinks many times. All right. So anyway, but tonight is Bloody Mary night, and I think we put it down as just food to go with a Bloody Mary.
Uh-huh.
What did you make? I'm curious. Or what did you buy? I bought. To be honest, I bought.
I did make and I did buy.
Okay.
So, have you ever gone to a place where they give you a Bloody Mary bar?
Yes. Which is kind of what I laid out in front of me here.
So I got some, this is local, Templar small batch crafted meats. So I got this from Ferndale, Washington. So pepperoni. I made bacon, shrimp, so there's the shrimp.
Okay.
These, the little tomatoes, the cherry, different tomatoes.
Yeah, well, I got cocktail sauce in here, but yep, got the shrimp.
The cocktail sauce is over here. Yep. I got the bacon. I got these little gherkins.
Okay, I went big sliced dills.
Okay.
All right, I did have some of the gherkins, and I should have brought them. I was going to bring them in, but I didn't.
And then, of course, the asparagus.
Okay, I didn't do asparagus, but I did do onions, scallion onions.
Nice. And then olives, and of course the cheese, because there's this one place here that they have. Yes, cheese. They have cheese, cherry tomatoes, and then the onions, like the pickled onions, and it goes great. But I've gone to so many different places that do so many different things on a Bloody Mary that I want my food. One time I had a slider. Another time I had a lobster claw. And
that's interesting.
I've had it with bacon before. And so I just wanted like a variety of different things that I know that if I had a Bloody Mary bar, for a gathering, I would have all the different ingredients. And so that's where I went. It's just all the things. And then, of course, I have my little skewers over here that I can add. I also have my one bigger glass, but then I also thought, well, my two smaller glasses. That way I can say, well, this is one topping. Here's another one with a different topping. So that's why I did those. But I wanted to kind of have fun with it. I did. One of my friends said, "Oh, it's a Bloody Caesar, which is using clamato instead of the tomato juice."
Mm-hmm.
So that's another great way to go. You can also use tequila instead of vodka, and so you have a Bloody Maria. And then there's oh my goodness, it's a different name when you put gin in it. Oh my goodness, I'm trying to remember the name of it because it's like I want to say shaggy something, or I know it's not shaggy.
Yeah.
But I wanted to say something shaggy. That it has a specific name when you put gin in it instead of vodka. And when I remember, I'll probably interrupt you and go, "Oh, that's what it was." But
I'm just Googling it, the truth, because there's another one I wanted to too. Red Snapper.
Red Snapper. That's the one, the Red Snapper. So that's gin. So if you decide you want to put gin, you can do a Red Snapper. And then, of course, you want a good vodka, but you don't want your top tier vodka.
And the other one was the Moonshine Mary, which is with the moonshine. Yeah.
Yeah. So I pulled out my Crater Lake Reserve because that's what I have here. And then, of course, I have my your 660.
I got some 460, so I went hard on the Texas stuff. So yeah.
So doing all the local stuff. So that's what I came up with. Which is very different, because I think last time we had like fried calamari or something on pairings. And fried foods do go very well. Spicy foods also go very well. The thing with Bloody Marys is that people have got to like tomato juice. If they do not like the tomato juice, they will hate the Bloody Mary, especially because it is pretty thick. If you go with clamato, which is the clam juice in there, this one's a lot lighter. It reminds me of a michelada where it's beer with, or a red beer, as some people call it, where they put clamato to their beer.
So I actually I always have these guys at the house. I always have these zigzag Bloody Mary mixes in cans. All right. I've gotten the Q mix as well. I love having it in the cans. And here's why. All right. I can do a small Bloody Mary anytime I want. And I don't have a container in the refrigerator going bad. That's the problem with a lot of drinks. When we drink as many different drinks as we do at our house, all right, we can buy a mix of some sort, and it may be months before we go back to that mix.
Right.
And that way and then it goes bad. It's just like buying all kinds of alcohol when you're only going to make one drink with it.
Yeah.
I don't have schnapps stored in my cabinet anymore because for me to do a schnapps recipe is going to happen once every 4 months, if that. It goes bad. It's just once you open it. Now, my vodkas, all right, my whiskeys, all right. I'm going to make several different things with those, but the mixes are a different story.
Yeah, and the other thing you want to garnish with, which I completely forgot, I got this local salt that it's like a smoky salt.
Yeah.
That I was so looking forward to it, and I left it at my bar at home. But the other thing you could do is tahini.
Tahini, yes. To me, tahini. All right. And before you and I did a podcast together, I never did it, but tahini on the rim.
Yeah, it's you just put a little bit of lime, and then you.
The other thing I have here. Like I have my shrimp, but I always have celery. Celery is my go-to. I always have celery on mine. One thing I didn't bring was a lime. I wished I don't have lime or lime juice.
There you go.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that.
Anytime.
I had something that I was going to have with it, but I'm going to put a piece of it in my Bloody Mary tonight because I've never done this. You ready? We're really gonna play games now. And that's I got some salmon
sashimi. Oh,
so
nice.
I'm going to put a piece of that, like I would, on my skewer, like I would, everything else. I also I like to do these pepperoncinis.
Oh yeah.
As well as, and these are things like that. Usually I would put Slim Jim bacon, things of that, a meat stick of some sort in it as well. But I didn't tonight. Because of the stuff I was going with, okay, what do I have at the house? What would you do in a Bloody Mary bar? And what can you do to avoid doing the same thing every time?
Right.
So I'm going to put shrimp. I actually have shrimp and a piece of the salmon. Got 2 olives that I'm going to put on.
And the funny thing is, I didn't do salmon, but this is like a salmon mousse.
A salmon mix, yeah. See, salmon, I looked up. Salmon seems to be a good pairing for a Bloody Mary. So, and I'm dripping that all over my keyboard, which I will regret later. And then my pepperoncinis, I'm trying to get that as well on there. And then everything else would go in beside it because of the fact that it is. So I am going to actually put the cup up here so I don't drip it on my keyboard again. This is my stack that I've put on my skewer. All right. Going to make it interesting. Now I almost always have some dill pickles. I have dill spears. I have an onion. And I always go for doing my Bloody Marys. I always want to go for the center of the stalk on the celery. Yeah. That heart, all right, with the leaves onto it. The leaves are something in value. Other than that, I'm going to put my mix.
I love the little leaves. One, they look adorable.
Yeah.
But two, they're good for you.
Yes.
And one of the things to do, if you are, because another thing that I have done is that I've done oyster shot, where the oyster goes at the bottom. Then you add your mix, your either cocktail or Bloody Mary mix, and then the vodka on top in the shot glass. And you definitely want the oyster at the bottom so that when you do the shot, the oyster pulls all the ingredients up. Because if you put the sauce at the bottom, it's going to stay at the bottom and you're going to completely miss it. So if you do the shot, remember the oyster goes at the bottom. And so I'm going to do my...
You're going to do some shake. We have a little boy here, and the little boy likes to hear shake.
Shake.
So here, as I shake it up, I'm going to pour it in at a level you guys can see it coming in. Right? Another thing I don't have, as I said, is a lime. But Bloody Marys are right. Think about the Bloody Mary bar. I have all of this food here, and I can eat the food as well as not just have it in my Bloody Mary.
Right.
So...
And that's kind of the fun part, is having the little tomatoes and all the other stuff, because it just gives it great flavor when you're adding the food. Like I said, it's having all the fruits the foods, not the fruits. You don't want fruit or anything sweet on your Bloody Mary. That is something that's very specific. Don't do that because it will not taste good. And I probably should have done an olive on this one instead. Let me move that around. I'm trying to think of what I'm gonna.
All right, I'm trying to rearrange stuff on the desk here so I can get other food combinations. So I'm going to mix up some soy sauce and some wasabi.
Okay.
And actually have some of my shrimp some of my sushi as sushi along with eating it. And I always love to get these packets, but I never can get them open.
They're always the hardest thing. Okay, so here's I did a couple of skewers. One of them very simple. It's the olives, and then the other one has all the other items. So you can do something like this.
Yep.
When the whole bacon went in there. This one I can make it a meat one and just put the other. So here we go. See, it's all meat. These are two good looking Bloody Marys that I think I have made. I might get pictures of them. I'm going to see if I can get them both in the picture.
No, I know I am traveling tomorrow, but one of the things when I travel, I always like to see where I like to have Bloody Marys. To me, Bloody Mary is something that is different everywhere you go.
It is.
All right. If I came up to Portland, and had it up there, it should be different. I want to tell you that there are two favorite Bloody Marys I've ever had on the road. Number one was Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, really?
Wisconsin. And when I tell you where, you're going to be, oh yeah. But they have that's where I learned to first do meat stick or like Slim Jim or something into it.
Okay.
The first one I had that way in Wisconsin was at the Harley Davidson Museum bar.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. Which, when you think about it, Harley Davidson, you're going to have a little bit of different, but you're also going to have a Wisconsin flair to it.
Yeah.
That being said, I remember one time that I was traveling back from, I believe, Florida. And one of the stops that I had to do with Florida was they took us to the Milwaukee airport to change planes to come back to Dallas. Kind of an out of the way, but you know how flying goes.
Yes.
Anyway, I remember that trip because the first thing I thought of was Wisconsin Bloody Mary. I'm going to, when I get there, have a Bloody Mary in the airport. Which it's funny because that's one of my favorites was Wisconsin. My second favorite Bloody Mary on the road was in San Francisco on one of the piers.
Oh, okay.
Small bar, literally on the street facing on one of the piers. You walked into this small bar, tall ceilings because it's a warehouse that was converted into a bar, but the bar couldn't have been the size of my house. I mean, it was that tiny type things, and you've been to my house, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very tiny, but they had a great one. That was the one where they actually had the candied bacon in it.
Oh,
yeah. All right. And it's just, this is where you gather your flavor as you go to different places with different things. That always made me think of candied bacon, candy, San Francisco. It's just, you put things together in your head. Now, third, and I do have to say there is a third on the list because I remember having it. And it was back when I first started doing seminars, would have been 2011, maybe 2012. And I had just got done doing a seminar in Phoenix, Arizona. And went by where the Phoenix Cardinals play.
Okay.
All right.
In Glendale?
In Glendale area there. I went into a bar there and they had a Bloody Mary menu for brunch on Sundays.
Nice.
And I had one that was actually called it was called the Vampire Killer.
Oh.
It was
spicy?
Garlic.
Oh.
Like real chunks of garlic were in this thing. My third favorite Bloody Mary of all time. So anyway, how about you?
Well, one that I absolutely loved was here in Portland. It was the Hawthorne something, but it was the best tail in Portland because you can get lobster tail there.
Mm-hmm.
It was a claw, and that was a lot of fun to get that. Then there was another place again here in Portland where they had a slider and they had bacon, and so there was like this huge slider that was just like, and it just looked beautiful there. And then with the bacon and all the garnishes, and it was just so much fun. And the one here, one of the cool things here at the Rams, so it's Rams here. They're a chain, but there's not that many of them. They will give you your Bloody Mary, and they're the ones that have the little skewers already made. So you're getting food with it, and they chase it with the beer, 4 ounces of beer.
Oh, wow. So
Bloody Mary. You get your food, and then you get 4 ounces of beer to chase your Bloody Mary with, which I thought was kind of fun. And the other place that I didn't try it just because it was a little much, but it was in Vegas as I was walking towards, I was on my way to the In-N-Out over by Harrah's, and they just had this huge, it was as big as my head, Bloody Mary that had so much stuff coming out of it. I'm like, that's a little much. But I do like to have that little extra, having that food, to me gives it a special flavor. I don't know. There's just something about a Bloody Mary and you're getting food with your Bloody Mary. And I think it's because it's such a rich drink that getting the food along with it tastes pretty good. And there's a lot of information. Oh my goodness, that I was like, I can't believe there's so much information on Bloody Marys. And that's why I was like thinking, how did I not have all these notes before?
No.
I guess we didn't go into it, but being that it was Bloody Mary Day on January 1st, the interesting thing is that the Bloody Mary is seen as it's going to help me with my hangover, yet it has the one thing that caused y'all's hangover: alcohol.
Yep.
And yes, you can have a Bloody Mary without alcohol. And it's still, if you have a good tomato mix, it's going to be delicious, especially with all the flavors and heat in there. It's still going to be good. But there is so much mystery behind the Bloody Mary. Where did it start? Who's, so there's always, like y'all know, it depends on who you're listening to. We're going to get different variations. But some say it was at the Ritz Hotel. There was a bartender there named Petiot, I think, or Petiot. Depends if he's French. Maybe that T at the end is not pronounced. But then it went to post Prohibition America. So this is so fitting that we talked about Prohibition last year. Now here we are, 2026, talking about one of the drinks that came about after Prohibition, the Bloody Mary. But at this Ritz Hotel, that's where Ernest Hemingway, Rita Hayworth, Humphrey Bogart, and other famous Americans would hang out. And so that's a place, there's a possibility. But there is also, there is another historical book that talked about the Ritz-Carlton 1921, but they're saying that it was a veterinarian that turned writer that also claimed that it started at the Ritz-Carlton. So it's depending on who you listen to, that sometimes they say that it's attributed to the notorious Queen Mary Tudor, who executed hundreds of Protestants in the name of Catholicism during her reigning years from 1553 to 1558. So there's that possibility too. Others are saying that the inventor he named it after his girlfriend. But it's who we're going to listen to. And others have said, it was at New York's 21 Club, but that was not until the 1930s, which it could have been that it was brought to the U.S. In the 30s. However, 1921, it was already invented previously. So truly, there's really nothing new. But if we look at history, the 14th century, the first recording of vodka, and it's one of the most important ingredients in a Bloody Mary. Then 1516 is when Queen Mary was born. And then 1917 is when tomato juice was actually created because there wasn't enough orange juice. So they started using tomatoes to make it as a drink, if you will. Then 1921 was when the Bloody Mary was invented. 1976, when Tabasco Bloody Mary mix hit the U.S. market. So a little bit of history that is piecemealed from different things that y'all know. So now you get a history lesson, whether you wanted it or not. So there you go.
Well, and the truth is, I mean, it's one of those drinks that, like my friend Sarah, I always like to share one with her when we're at a certain bar. We've had it on the show, I think now a half dozen times.
Yep. BLTs. I almost made a BLT.
That is something I actually like to actually eat with because it's a refreshing sandwich. And it really goes well with a Bloody Mary.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of munching on a little bit of everything. So I'm munching on all of my vegetables I have, my shrimp and my sushi. And swallowing down my Bloody Mary. And I feel like I'm having a salad. You know what I mean? I don't feel like, and on today's podcast, I don't feel like I'm having a heavy meal. And that is the great thing about, just doing Bloody Mary and just some like refreshing little snacks to go with it.
The meat, I think, is tasting really yummy to me today.
Well,
so both the pepperoni and the bacon. And this is a maple bacon. And I wanted it nice and crisp, so the color is a little bit darker. because I let it crisp up a little bit more.
But I mean, throughout the holidays, I mean, did you have like I usually have Bloody Marys on Thanksgiving. I didn't have them over Christmas. Did you go to any parties where Bloody Marys were featured over the holidays?
I didn't go to any parties.
It's like for us, I kind of mix up a batch of a Bloody Mary mix where I'll take the mix, add things to it, salt, pepper, Tabasco. I usually put a little bit of garlic into that one,
Okay.
and then I'll put all the additives to it. But I'll put everything out because I do my oyster things on Thanksgiving morning, and I lay all that out so that you can do the Bloody Marys as well with the oysters.
Right.
So, to me, oysters and Bloody Marys go hand in hand. Didn't have any oysters here tonight, though.
You said that, and I was smelling oysters. I'm like, man, I smell oysters.
Oh,
Cheese
yeah.
was very yummy. This is a sharp cheddar, and the creaminess of this Tillamook.
Mm-hmm.
So the creaminess of the Tillamook, extra sharp cheddar, goes very well. I mean, it tones down the spiciness, but yet it enhances that tomato flavor. So the spice goes down, the flavors go up.
Wow.
The bacon, even though it's maple bacon, usually I want anything sweet, but a candied bacon, maple bacon, just bacon in general. Also, because of the fat content in it, also holds up pretty well against the Bloody Mary.
Mm-hmm.
And then the pepperoni, the spice of it enhances the spiciness of the Bloody Mary.
I'm curious, though, our listeners, what you've put in a Bloody Marys or had with it over the years, because sometimes Bloody Mary's a bar drink, sometimes it's part of a party meal. So, what do you put into it, and what have you actually had with it? I've actually had Bloody Marys at a hamburger place once.
Oh, okay. Breakfast.
Really, it went well with hamburger. So
good to know. Oh, thank you, Mark. He's calling me the queen.
Yep. No.
Yeah, breakfast.
I'm gonna have a guest here in a second. He's gonna come. He's coming in to say good night. Night night. Hi everybody. Wait.
Night.
He hasn't had several times today to come in and sit on Pop's lap. So anyway, Pops have kissed.
He was missing Pops.
All right. Pops have kiss. Mwah. Okay. Shut the door on the way out. Night nights.
Night. So I will say, because I was buying yesterday, I was at the store buying all the things.
Yeah.
Normally I season my shrimp a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
These are needing a little bit of dipping into the Bloody Mary mix because it's missing a little bit of flavor.
Yeah. I got my shrimp somewhere else today, but we started shopping here in Texas at HEB. HEB has several different types of shrimp for you to get a shrimp cocktail mixes.
Okay.
One of them they have is with the East Coast Old Bay seasoning on it.
Uh-huh. I love Old Bay.
Yeah. Believe it or not, still a great combination. Dip it in the cocktail sauce and still have it. So, I have not finished a lot of my shrimp lately because I've had too many combinations of it through the holiday.
Okay.
And a lot of it went bad. Anyway.
I do remember in Chicago, that was the worst Bloody Mary at the airport. One, I was feeling so sick. Something I ate on my way back from Argentina. So flight back from Argentina to Chicago, I was miserable, so miserable, the entire flight. Get into Chicago. I'm thinking I need something. And they wouldn't give me a Bloody Mary until it was like either 6 or 7 a.m. I can't remember. We were there at like 5 a.m. And the moment that the bar opened, because I was in a tour group, they're like, let's go get your Bloody Mary. So he gives me a Bloody Mary and then puts a pickle. And I'm like, what the heck is this man doing to me? So I pulled out the pickle out of my Bloody Mary because it's like, oh, but yet I have a stigma when it comes to pickles, but give me the pickled asparagus. I'm all over that.
Yeah, pick that. Believe it or not, the pickled beans.
The green beans, yes.
Yes. And I know there's like a Cajun pickled beans. Those as well go very well in it.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things you can do, and there's a lot of combinations, and different parts of the country have different different vegetables you can put in.
Yeah.
So, but the pickle thing, I could see it right now because if I'm sick, I don't want a pickle in mine.
Yeah. I was like, what are you doing to me, man? I had a laugh. I'm sure that they're looking at me. The face I made was like, oh, I was disgusted. I haven't seen it since.
Yeah.
But I can see why they would do that. But yeah, that was at wherever at the Chicago airport in international. Actually, at that point, we had already gone through international. We had already gotten our bags, re-given their bags to recheck it in because we were on our way to LA. Mm-hmm. So we were already at the domestic terminal. But I was just not having it. Made it home. One of my girlfriends picked me up. We had some soup. And I was like, as I was driving home, I'm like, you're almost there. You're almost there. I laid down. As soon as I got home, I said hi to Mom. And I just laid on the couch and I was out. I was like, not feeling it. So whatever it was that I last ate in Argentina, which was McDonald's, I'm blaming it on McDonald's. And it was because one of the guys said, oh, you got to go to McDonald's. I was like, why would I go to McDonald's? I never eat anything I could eat at home. I don't want to eat while I'm traveling, just period. And especially not fast food. But I decided to try it out and my body did not like it.
And it's funny, like, you know, you can remember your worst, all right? And it comes down to, usually it's what's the combination of food you had around it.
I had been eating such great food.
Yeah.
And then I ended up with a Big Mac or whatever. And that was the last thing I ate. And that was probably 2 hours before boarding the plane.
Oh, wow. I remember, I don't know. Well, no, I didn't have a Bloody Mary that day. Never mind. I was in San Diego and I got to the airplane coming back home and I was just so bloated. And I forget what I had in the terminal to try to ease it to get on the plane because I was just bloated. And what it was is I had been eating from there was a small coffee shop on the boardwalk there that had a salmon, you know, bagel, everything bagel.
Okay.
That just was so full of flavor. And I had it every day because it was so good.
So your body said, I'm done.
Body said, I'm full and I'm done. And that's usually, I mean, there's two combinations. Either you eat something bad and you're like, I will never eat that food again when I go to that town ever again. Or half the time, I will never eat that food again. I remember as a kid getting sick after eating hot dogs.
Oh.
It wasn't the hot dog's fault. It was a virus that was building up in my system. That hot dog just happened to be the last thing I ate before the system went blah. Right? But for the longest time, I wouldn't touch a hot dog because of it. I remember going to different places. For instance, Mexican food in California. I have never gone to a Mexican restaurant in California that I did not get sick the next day.
What?
Every time. Now, I live in Texas. Texas Mexican food is different.
It's Tex-Mex.
Yeah, Tex-Mex. Now, if I go to a Mexican restaurant in California, I want to know, do you have tacos? Give me a basic taco. That's all I'm going to eat there because I'm not going to get sick again.
Mm.
I'm not going to go into regular Mexican food there because I've never. And I remember the first time I ever was one of Craig's. It was the first time I ever went to Craig's Mastermind, and I was in Santa Clarita, California, and everybody wanted Mexican. I'm like, okay, I can't stand Mexican, but I'll go. And I really wanted to go to the Wendy's next door. That's how bad I did not want to go to the Mexican restaurant. We went, and the next day I was in bed sick all day.
That's
And
good.
I'm like, I won't do it again. And then in 2016, I spoke at a conference in Palm Springs, California, and everybody from the group was like, hey, let's go to this Mexican place. And I'm like, I did. The next day,
You were paying the price.
I was paying for it in bed sick again. And I'm just like, okay, that's twice in California, right? Not going there again. So,
have you had Mexican food in other states, or is it, are you just apprehensive to eat it anywhere else?
Well, I'm not a fan of Mexican food. I don't know why. The only thing I really like in Mexican food, there's only two things I like. I will take, quesadillas. I will take, tacos, right? And fajitas. You know what I mean? Get a good fajita mix. I'll do it. And those are, I think it was fajitas at the one restaurant I had that I was sick still the next day. But if I go now and everybody wants to go there, I'm going to go for the basic taco.
Yeah, it's like, thank you.
Yeah. It's
So
just, it's just those things with food. But I can't tell you. I mean, well, the only drinks I think I've ever had that I had, and we actually had was in the show, was Christmas a couple years ago when I did the peppermint schnapps, and I was sick the next week.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was like,
and we've not done peppermint schnapps on the show since.
Actually, I think I still have some schnapps left.
I don't.
Tossed it, but I got a little guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to an event with Kaiser, and they gave us all the brokers to thank us for working with them all year.
Mm-hmm.
They had all sorts of foods, and it was a mac and cheese bar, which was amazing. But they also had a hot cocoa bar, and so you could put whatever you wanted in the hot cocoa, which was cool. And then you could go to the bar and get like Bailey's or schnapps added to it, which is kind of fun. And then, of course, they put a different color lid on that one so that it was known that there was alcohol in it.
That you had alcohol in the presence. Yeah. Okay. That could be something that we do sometime, is a hot cocoa bar, where then we add what we want. All right. And I know we've done different kinds of cocoa on here.
Yep.
But like some of the times, like we did the Bloody Mary tonight, we very easily could have done Bloody Mary mix, make your own.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And you could do that at a Bloody Mary bar. If you have somebody who makes a really good Bloody Mary bar, you can have all these fixins out there.
Yep.
But it's not just the fixins. Your alcohol could be, as we mentioned in the beginning of the show, could be your tequila, your gin, all right, your moonshine, your vodka. You just do different things. Mm-hmm. Now, the one that I didn't do tonight, and I do have it here, and it's not in here, it's out in the liquor cabinet out in the living room, is the distillery here in the hill country of Texas called Iron Wolf, which I've done before. They have a horseradish that really is designed to be in Bloody Marys.
That is a great idea, because Crater Lake, they have some flavored vodkas.
Yeah.
Horseradish is one of them.
Yeah.
So I didn't even think of buying it. And I think they might have them in the minis.
Yeah.
They have cucumber and hazelnut, espresso. There's a ginger flavored one, ginger lemon, I think, and then the horseradish one. So yeah, that's that way you get your heat without actually putting horseradish
in there. Yes, is exactly. Well, ginger. All right. So ginger is a good healing food. All right. I had, because of the sushi, I had pieces of ginger here. So what I did is now to cleanse my palate when I got done, I ate the ginger, the pickled ginger. All right. And now my palate's done. I'm done for my food because I've cleansed my palate out. Now I'll drink water for the rest of the night. Mm-hmm. But I mean, those are things, and literally, I literally now this year, I've got this new thing with cocoa powder. There's raw cocoa powder that I mix with water every day. It's a health supplement.
Okay.
All right, and just some of these things, guys, you know what I mean. Not just your drink, but it has health supplements to it. All right, if you're sick, depending on what kind of sickness, a Bloody Mary could cure you that day. Could save your stomach that day, because it is more than just a drink. It is a drink with a lot of vitamins and stuff into it, with the juices and having added everything to it.
Yeah.
Why I brought that up. What else you have to add today?
I think that was it. There was just so much history out there that I was like going, oh my goodness, there's a lot of information. So I just gave you all the tidbits, the high level ones. But really, your Bloody Mary is very simple to make, really. If you want to make it super duper easy, just buy a mix. And the little cans, those are perfect. But if you do want to make your own, you absolutely can. If you're going to be adventurous and play with it because there's a specific amount of flavor that you want, then you can play with it. So that's a nice thing. But essentially, it's you do 2 lime wedges, ice cubes, 4 ounces of high quality vodka, 8 ounces of tomato juice, 4 dashes of Tabasco sauce, 4 dashes of the Worcestershire sauce, 2 pinches of celery salt. And celery salt will make a world of difference. Absolutely.
World of difference in a Bloody Mary. Yep.
Look up the celery salt. If you do not have celery salt, don't try it.
Yeah.
Black pepper, ground black pepper is even better because it gives it a little bit of a kick. And then some smoked paprika.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, your celery to garnish. So you want to put it all on inside the shaker with ice. Shake, shake, shake.
Yep. Shake her up.
Pour it out over ice in a pint glass, or like one of these is fine. Again, I use the little guy here, but you can do that. If you're doing a tasting, these are perfect to utilize if you're trying different vodkas, or if you're trying different types of you're trying to compare your tomato sauce, your base, to see which one you like, if you want it spicier or not. And you can spice it up a little bit with either Tabasco or horseradish. Yeah. Those are the 2 best ways to make your Bloody Mary a little bit spicier.
Yep. And now I'm going to bring this up too for a conversation on this on Bloody Marys, because I've had it many times on a plane. You get on a plane and it's an option, but what is it on the plane? It is almost always a can of mix.
Yep, Mr. T and
Mr. T. Sometimes it's Q, Mr. Q. But then they bring you the little thing of vodka. They used to. Right now, I've been flying Southwest for years, but I haven't had a Bloody Mary on American or JSX. I think I had one on JSX, but on Southwest they stopped giving you the lime wedges and they started with a little packet of lime juice.
Not the same.
And again, you're on an airplane, all right? So I'm not looking for luxury, but I do want some, there takes a good vodka, a good Bloody Mary mix. The lime juice is just there to put the spice into it.
Yep.
They don't have the salt and pepper unless you can find that they have salt and pepper packs. My advice is, if you're going to have a Bloody Mary on the plane, stop and get you in the airport. They almost always, you go into this travel stores and they have like the little things of hard-boiled eggs.
Oh yeah,
salt and pepper pack with them. The salt and pepper pack is what you need. If you can go to some place and you can pick up the salt and pepper pack and take that on the plane with you and add that to your Bloody Mary, it enhances the taste.
There you go.
Just saying, if you gotta do it, you gotta do it. Yeah.
But hopefully y'all got some ideas on things that you can do and how you can enhance your Bloody Mary to make it that much better.
Yeah. Yep. So with that being said, all right, guys, episode 169 here, Tim Gillette, Gladys Boutwell. This show is brought to you every week by our businesses. I'm only going to briefly mention this because we're trying to figure out how we're going to do this in the new year, is go into and check out our Insiders Club. go to likethewayyouDrink.com. You have to be 21 to join. Other than that, this show is brought to you every week by Gladys and I's businesses. We pay the bills to make this thing happen. Yes, it is a passion project of both of ours, but we ask that if you if you need either one of our services or need advice in our service areas, to please give us a call and to support our podcast, and we would appreciate it very much. So Gladys, tell them about your business in case they want to contact you.
Absolutely. Gladys Boutwell, Insurance by Design, helping you become the employer of choice through employee benefits. Because guess what? There are 101 different creative ways you can attract and retain quality staff. And you know what? It's not complicated. It's pretty simple. So if you want to figure out how can you provide some benefits to your staff, how can you show them how much you care? Hey, you know what? Get on my calendar, go to enrollnetoregon.com, and we will start the conversation. And if what you want to do, if I can't do it, I will find a broker who can. So go to enrollnetoregon.com and get on my calendar. That's Gladys Boutwell, Insurance by Design. And this is my co-host.
Hey guys, my name is Tim Gillette, and I run Simply Z Marketing and Simply Z websites. All right, we build templated websites for the entrepreneur, the small business owner, or the artistic entrepreneur is the great person we love helping and getting their message out there on a website, because we will build it so that it's focused to build you the leads that you need. Many of our clients, when they come to us, they don't know. They know they want a website. They know they need a website, but they don't know why. We focus on lead generation. Your website should be bringing you in leads. And if it's not, ladies and gentlemen, we need to do a revamp, a retool, all right, to make the language work. So people go, hey, I want to call that person. That's what a website should be doing. Want to find out more, go to simplyeasywebsites.com and book an appointment with me. That being said, what are we going to talk about next week?
I think we left it through here, and we're going to have that discussion after this because I don't
know.
I
have it on my calendar. I read that.
Yes. Oh, yes.
We are doing one episode on this, ladies and gentlemen. One. We are not doing the whole month. We're doing one episode because some of you, this is a thing, and I have a lot of friends on Facebook this year that are doing it, is we do an episode every year focusing on dry January.
Yep.
So we are going to do dry January. We're going to put together some drinks and some fun things that you have. No alcohol. There will be no alcohol in next week's show. All right. It's just going to be talking about different things that we do for dry January to still enjoy and like the way we drink.
That's right. Because if you don't like it, don't drink it, y'all.
That's right. So, all right, guys. Well, we will see you guys next week. Have a great week. We appreciate you guys. Enjoy 2026 as it's now year number 5 that Tim and Gladys have been doing this. And we're going to keep going strong as long as we can. All right, guys. Cheers.